Or I'm the smartest child in the world. I will not hurt and burn myself.
That's how it starts. Alright.
Good
luck.
Silent life.
Yep.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome.
I will not burn.
Wait.
Make sure not muted.
I know.
The one that.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Cause like
hold on. The one that's up top, you don't want muted.
Yeah, that one is muted. So
the other one needs to be unmuted.
It's not muted.
Okay, then you're fine.
Okay.
Remember, we were hearing it reverberating until I turned it down up here. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, making sure that we are good. So, welcome to Woke Wednesdays. It's been a long day for me already, and I'm ready to take on what the wokeness has to bring. And after I set all this up, so I'm gonna get to see what it is for the first time here. So let's get into it.
So you get active.
Is it all set up here, hon?
Yes, it should be 2 videos and then your
cards. So present.
Your
screen.
He's so cranky.
I don't know.
Hold on.
Then first mute the mic.
I know I didn't do that. So.
Why the fuck did y'all glamorize being a stay-home mom?
The patriarchy. The patriarchy glamorized it.
Let's talk about stay-at-home mom. Some people feel like staying at home and raising your kids or being a stay-at-home mom is better because you have time to raise the kids, you have time for the children's life. And the thing is that society actually glamorizes staying at home mom because they want the men to go out there to hustle, but the women should be at home, nurturing, caring for the children, holding the baby, kissing the baby, and do everything for the children at home. Why the men, all they need to do is just go out and provide and all of that. So the thing now is staying at home as a mom beneficial for women or not, or is just for patriarchy's sake? Let's have conversation down in the comment section. So as a creator talking about staying at home and how patriarchy was actually the one that glamorized stay at home, and the fact that it is actually cheaper for you to have a wife, a stay-at-home wife that will just stay at home and take care of the kids, because she's not only going to take care of the kids, she's going to clean, cook, do everything literally for you. So it's cheaper for a woman to just be at home and do that than you getting nannies and all of that. Let me show you this clip, then we'll come back and talk about it.
Why the fuck did y'all glamorize being a stay-home mom?
The patriarchy. The patriarchy glamorized it. Men did. The patriarchy sold us this idea that staying home with your kids is a luxury, that women should feel so lucky to stay home all day and give up their careers and financial independence because supposedly there's no one better to raise your kids than you, mom. It doesn't matter if you're exhausted and overwhelmed and overstimulated, underappreciated, and that you literally are so capable and smart and good at other things like the career you possibly gave up, and that you might even be a better mom if you're able to get that work-life balance like men get, that help them feel like a whole, unique, multifaceted, multi-layered person that doesn't exhaust all.
All right. Now, the problem with that is women are always saying, oh, I want to be just like the guys are. I want to go out there and do the hustle. But women are not made for the hustle.
It's totally evident.
Yeah.
My mother, she was kick-ass at work and everything, and she made a lot of changes in the hospital. She was a DON, and she did teaching classes and everything, but she could only last about 5 years.
Exactly.
About
and
every
then
5 years.
She had to take like a year off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was just like so cranky all the time, always pissy, always having a problem with something, somewhat full of drama, always all the time.
See, she didn't just try to work and do what she could. She tried to add the night shift onto that.
Right. And even when she got to a point where she didn't have to anymore, she
Yeah.
still did that. And that always bothered me because I can see when you're first starting out and you're at the bottom of the barrel and you have to work your way up that you would be subjected to the night shift and everything. But then, like, when you have your family and especially when you have teenagers that want to go and do stuff during the fucking day,
Yes.
that you would switch that so that you don't have this wonky ass schedule. You know?
Exactly.
Like,
That's exactly right.
but yeah, I've never read a woman that can really work that consistently for that long, like
No.
like the guys can. Why are you doing this?
All of their energy doing one thing 24/7. It doesn't matter. What matters is that mom's at home with the babies and that she should be so grateful that dad lets her do that while he goes to work and works so hard all day, because that's the natural order of things. Men go out and they provide, just like the caveman days. They go out, they get to be so
And again, don't get me wrong. It's like, as I say, that women cannot do the hustle and the grind. Men cannot do what women do at the house.
No.
It's physically impossible for us to do.
It's like, I know you can be trained for certain aspects of it, just like we can be trained for certain aspects of working outside the home.
Yeah.
But it is never going to be as easy for you, and it's never going to be comfortable.
No, it's not.
It's like managing all those little stupid things all the time, that make up a life and a home. It's like, that's just like not within your grasp.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
It's like we're detail oriented. We look at every last little minute thing that makes it work together. Managing resources, multitasking, like the nurturing part of it is the mental load, the emotional stability.
I know. It really is.
That's like our domain.
Yeah.
And I've been on both sides of this fence. I've been both the career-oriented, driven person and now the stay-at-home wife and mother.
Exactly. Which one do you prefer?
The stay-at-home wife and mother.
Yep. And I prefer to go out and do the stuff. I mean, I'm the one that walks and we don't have a vehicle.
Right.
And even when we don't necessarily have to get there and back on our time schedule,
Right.
I still walk.
And you go and you work outside the home, you work in the elements, you
Yep.
come home and work outside in the elements,
Yep.
It's not just going out and working and earning a paycheck, you're building the household as well, you're
Yes.
doing stuff to build it up.
Exactly.
Managing the finances, that's stressful.
It is, yeah.
It's like it's complementary, the things that we do.
Yep, they for sure are. You have to have the two sides to do it right. Because if you want to try to be a control freak and do it all yourself, you're going to start seeing a lot of resentment and a lot of just not trusting.
Right. It's like, why should I do this for you if you don't do that for me?
Yeah.
And that doesn't work out.
No.
And a lot of it is, I think, on both sides. I have seen more of women say this, but on both sides, it's like, what have you done for me lately?
Yep.
Instead of what can I do for you?
Exactly. That's exactly right.
That is not going to get you anywhere.
I mean, it's crazy.
In marriage.
Yeah.
We've been married for 20 years now.
I know we have.
We've been together for 20 years. We've been married for like 17.
Yeah.
But,
And we've had our ups and downs.
some very big downs.
Yeah.
18 months of a down.
Yes.
But it was that breaking point that it inevitably brought us to where we are now.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. It has.
social with their buddies. They get to be physical. They get to like run around in their little loincloths or whatever and do something that they love that fills them with purpose and joy, like kill a saber-toothed tiger. And women get to stay home with their babies, all the cuddles, and they get to just, it's so wonderful with their village. Oh, wait, we don't have villages anymore. We're constantly comparing caveman days to now. So, okay, women get to sit at home in isolation with their babies in the same.
All right.
When you restart it, you might want to go back a couple of seconds so that we don't miss out on what
Okay.
was being said. and then they said YouTubers do that. But
Yeah.
she was saying that, we don't have a village anymore. I'm sure that they have more of a village than I do. Like I
know.
literally have absolutely nobody else. And I
That's
have
exactly right.
years and years. I don't have my mother, I don't have my grandmother, I don't have any sisters, I don't have any close female friends. I don't have somebody that I can just go drop the kids off of and go somewhere. I don't have somewhere, so I don't have anywhere to go.
I know.
And I do not carry the kind of resentment that these people have or think that they should have.
No, you don't at all.
I still have a lot of peace, and I still have a lot of
You pick yourself up, and you just move on.
right. There's days that I might complain, but in my heart of hearts, I don't really want to go out. It's like I mostly for me, it's like I want a little bit of space away because we live in close quarters here as it is.
Oh, I know, very, very close quarters. I mean, it's one room.
So it's like when he's staying up late at night to play with his friends, I wish that I had like my own room to go to sometimes.
Yeah.
So I had no noise and stuff. That's pretty much it. That's my main thing. I don't really want to go out. I don't want to drink. I don't want to party. I don't want to have girl
God, I
time.
couldn't imagine that anymore.
No, I don't even want to have girl time. I don't need it. I don't need to sit there and listen to a bunch of other women, quote unquote, vent about their problems. I don't need to vent about my problems. It gets us absolutely nowhere.
No.
They use it against you. And I don't know why these people are so resentful of a life that's been given to them. They should be so lucky to be able to stay
I know.
home. And
That's exactly right.
have the love and attention of their family members.
I mean, the baby is everything.
Yeah. It's like he's
Just pay attention to him or her.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that it will have.
Well, that's like there was like not a single moment that I have regretted ever with Tristan growing up. I've loved every single stage of it, every single bit of it. It was like he's been my friend in different capacities all the way through, and still is.
Exactly.
It's like now he actually knows how to game well, so I actually have somebody to game against that. In the middle of the day, if that should call.
There was a good one today.
Yeah, I played Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Today. What the hell?
Yes.
You keep wiping your nose a lot.
Sorry.
I just.
Wait, we don't have villages anymore. If we're constantly comparing caveman days to now. So, okay, women get to sit at home in isolation with their babies in the same pajamas we wore yesterday, cleaning the same mess we've cleaned 676 times, getting verbally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually abused by our offspring. Sweet. Men get to stay in the workforce, building their careers and maintaining their autonomy, while women stay at home and are boxed into unpaid labor. And then if we question it, society gaslights us into thinking that we should want this, that sacrificing our independence is somehow the highest form of love for our children. And let's not ignore the economics of it all. Keeping women at home benefits capitalism and a capitalistic society. If women are doing this work for free, then corporations don't have to invest in universal childcare or paid parental leave. Meanwhile, men keep working, driving profits, and climbing the ladder. It's no accident that this system funnels power, oh my God, to men at the expense of women. And because women are already doing it, we've never built a safety net. Why would they pay for something women are willing to do for free? Not just willing, but are told that they should be grateful to do. No childcare, no paid leave, because why bother when women have been told that they're the natural solution? Let us be clear. There is nothing.
Okay.
I don't know if I can be heard from over here or not, but
I hope so. Otherwise, it's a lot of
nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So in general, when they say that it's a thankless job that you don't get paid for, well, you do get paid for because you should be having all of your financial and material needs met.
Yes.
That's one thing. You're also getting paid spiritually for your sacrifice. I don't care if they don't see it that way, but you are.
Oh, you are.
You're getting paid karmically. You will get a cookie in the afterlife. I don't care if they don't believe it.
Cookie.
But I am a firm believer of knowing your worth.
Yes, for sure. You definitely should.
I do that from time to time, and it's like I don't quote unquote charge for making food or childcare or any of the things that mothers do. But the extra stuff that I do, like facial stuff, dietitian stuff, things
Yeah.
that you would normally hire somebody from an outside source to do, I find out how much those people are making, and then I cut that into a quarter because I'm not a professional, I'm not licensed. And then I add that all up and I find out exactly how much my services are worth.
That's exactly right.
And if you're not making that up, then then we're lopsided.
Then something needs to change.
Yeah,
Yes.
And so I am a firm proponent of knowing one's worth.
Yeah, for sure.
But you can't be overblowing it either. Like I said, all the stuff that I do now is worth about $1,100 a month. So that's just a little over, $12,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's like not that much. You bring in about 25,000.
Yeah.
So we're good, and it's like we're good and then some.
Exactly.
But a lot of women are always saying, well, what I do is worth $40,000, $60,000 a year. And
I was like, how?
It isn't, because they're counting the child care and everything. And I'm sorry, but you made those children as well. So you are responsible.
Yes.
That is a duty, not a job.
Exactly.
And it's like they need to toughen up and get it through their thick skulls that this is not, it's a duty, not a job.
It is. That's exactly right.
The extra, like making clothes, I count that, because
Yes.
it's saving you money on having to buy clothes, stuff like that. The YouTube work, the editing, the direction.
Yeah.
The producing and
Yes.
stuff like that. I count all of that.
Yes.
That
I know.
That's fine.
That's exactly right.
But not basic childcare. I don't count taking care of the animals or training with the animals because they were my animals before you.
I know.
So.
Yeah. So then, like when I've taken over, I don't count that stuff either.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you should. You should count that. You should but it's so sporadic and in between. And in the meantime, I'm like on maternity leave.
Exactly.
But like I said, I mean, if you're making more than what I think that I'm worth, then we're totally fine.
Yes.
And so if these women are supposedly, and I can't imagine what they would be doing outside of regular household chores and stuff that they think that is worth $40,000 to $60,000. But if that's the case, then you need to bring that itemized bill up to your husband and say, okay, well,
what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Why am I making this?
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, like you've said though, they overinflate usually what?
Yeah, they say $40,000 to $60,000 in labor is what they're worth, and I'm like, no, it isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it isn't, because I do all this stuff for like less than $15,000.
No, that's exactly right. Yeah.
A year. So it's like I'm talking about weekly facials. I'm talking about hair care. I'm talking about nutrition.
Yes.
I'm talking about making clothes. I'm talking about like I said, the YouTube work for 2 channels and everything. 3 channels. 2 channels is what I count. I don't count mine. And they're not doing that.
I know.
But like I said, I'm not going to count child care. I'm not going to count like the consultation time between us. And I know a lot of women do that.
I know.
I was like, oh, I'm basically his therapist. And like, you're supposed to be. That's again a duty, not a job.
Yep. No. I know.
But yeah, for sure, know your worth, but don't be overinflating it.
No, don't.
That just looks tacky as hell.
Yeah, it does.
Doing it, we've never built a safety net. Why would they pay for something women are willing to do for free? Not just willing, but are told that they should be grateful to do. No childcare, no paid leave, because why bother when women have been told that they're the natural solution? Let us be clear. There is nothing natural about this. It is a design, a very intentional design meant to keep women dependent, men in power, the patriarchy thriving, and capitalism booming. Ever since I made that video about the patriarchy glamorizing stay-at-home mom life, I haven't been able to stop thinking about this one thing, because I was watching a show the other day and it was moms going out to brunch, going to Pilates, going to tennis. And I was like, maybe I got it wrong. I was like, maybe stay-at-home mom life is pretty chill. I like felt the feminism leaving my body. And then I remembered those women have something very specific that I don't have. They have a lot of disposable income, a lot. So they can afford to not only outsource their childcare, but they can afford to do all the extra fun things that make being a stay-at-home mom really cool. This woman gave me the opportunity to speak on this. She says, I gave up my career. I get to do whatever I want. I get to sleep in. I love it. And I said, ma'am, how? And she said, nannies. And I said, bless your heart. I appreciate your comment, but I didn't say that part before, but maybe I should have. But I just said that you're a little out of touch, because not everyone can afford nanny. And it just reminded me of like how stay-at-home mom life can look different for so many different people, and how we have to honor and respect that and acknowledge that, because it's not all cookie cutter. Some people have super involved.
All right, as we were just talking about, that's not really a stay-at-home mom then, to call yourself that when you're talking about having a nanny.
Yeah, you're outsourcing the most fundamental parts of being a mom to somebody else.
Exactly.
That's not really the same thing. I like how she says, bless your heart, you poor stupid fool. The traditional Southern thing to say. But just because you are a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean you can't have those things.
No, it doesn't.
You can absolutely have those things. You just have to, there's plenty of time. You just have to know how to manage it, right?
Yeah.
And even still, I get to sleep in. Some mornings you take the whelp and,
whenever I can, I will.
Go. And I've slept in more recently than I have, like, probably the past, like, 20 years of my life. It's not really, it's not really extra sleep, but, it's still, And I get it. Maybe a lot of guys don't or can't do that, but you still can find a way.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. And it doesn't last forever. By the time the kids are 9 or 10, they can pretty much take care of themselves in the morning. Get themselves ready or do whatever they do, so you could sleep in then. It's like, so you're telling me you can't sacrifice 9 or 10 years of the whole 80 to 100 that we're supposed to be on this planet?
Exactly. That's exactly correct. Yes. Sancho's in. He says, I'm here to tune into my favorite human show and to see my favorite family.
Welcome.
Welcome.
We're talking about modern women today and their ungrateful perspective.
Yes.
How have you been?
It's been a long day here. All right, let's move on.
Like how stay-at-home mom life can look different for so many different people, and how we have to honor and respect that and acknowledge that, because it's not all cookie cutter. Some people have super involved partners. Some people have family that lives nearby that are willing to help, or friends. Some people have money for nannies and maids to outsource all of those tasks that are so overwhelming and monotonous and daunting as a stay-at-home mom. Some of us have none of that. And no shade to this woman at all. I've had nannies before. I send my daughter to school now so I can get some time to myself, although now I have a son and I'm going to do that with him soon. But I get it. We should all be taking time to ourselves, but some of us can't afford to. Some of us don't have the luxury to. So we all just, I think, need to honor and respect that. I'm not kidding when I say this, but one of the biggest things I took away when I had children was, oh, I understand why people are child-free by choice now. I'm going to out myself and say that I genuinely didn't understand that, because as a woman, and I don't want to say like I'm not ascribing to societal gender norms, but like as a woman that grew up with a mom that was a stay-at-home mom and just kind of thought that I thought that's what you did. You just had kids and that's fulfilling. And I couldn't wait. And I loved babies. And I used to think that there might be that, just like that woman that didn't want that maybe, I don't know, I didn't understand them. And I kind of thought, I don't want to say less of them, but I just thought Like, oh, you and I don't vibe. I don't get it. Why would you not want this? And then as I got older, like I'm in my mid 30s now and I had kids, I go like, oh, like those women just really fucking knew themselves and they are extremely emotionally mature, women and men that don't want kids. But I'm speaking specifically to women because we put that pressure on women mostly. I'm like, you know yourself, you know your limits, you know your boundaries, you are prioritizing yourself, your happiness, your health, and you're not following society's rules. You're giving everyone a big F you, and that takes a lot of courage too. So I have so fucking much respect for, again, women, but mostly women that are able to go against everything that society tells them they should do and just say, no, fuck it. I don't want to deal with this shit. It's a lot. This shit is a lot of shit. So yeah, if you're not, I think if you're not 110% committed to being a mom, don't do it. You have to want it with every fiber of your being, or you're going to resent that choice.
Everybody's going to have different opinion when it comes to staying at home or being a stay-at-home mom. Just like the video, a stay-at-home mom that has a nanny, has a cleaner, has a cook, has a driver, have almost literally everything for a village around her. She's going to enjoy being stay at home because she'll have time to go for Pilates, go to the gym, go to the spa, take care of herself, go to brunch with friends, have dinner, travel around the world. But a stay-at-home mom that doesn't have any help, doesn't have a cleaner, doesn't have a cook, doesn't have anything, doesn't even have any village, any family members around, and don't even have a supportive partner, will tell you a different thing when it comes to being a stay-at-home mom, right? So I personally feel like being a stay-at-home mom, you can only enjoy being a stay-at-home mom if you have help. If you think that you're a woman and you have that so much strength and power just because you're a woman, because they usually make it look like, oh, women are very strong, women are very industrious, women are very this, women are very that. So they kind of put that thing in our head and make it look like, oh, you're very strong, you can take care of 5 children at once. Try it, then you will know. The thing is, if a woman is a stay-at-home mom and she has help, she will enjoy being a stay-at-home mom. Yeah, she will enjoy being a stay-at-home mom. But if you're a stay-at-home mom and you don't have any help, you're the one doing everything.
Why would they?
I don't know. It just they're sorry. All right, what were you gonna say?
Okay, so hush. No. So she was saying that, that you're only going to enjoy being a stay-at-home mom if you have help. Like, we don't have help.
Yeah, we don't.
It is literally us 3 and the baby. And
Yep.
you're saying, Tristan is our help, but we don't put an extraordinary amount of pressure on him too.
No, we don't.
We don't have him doing a bunch of stuff because I don't like that. I don't like when people have a baby.
No,
like,
but I mean, if we need an extra person, he still is the one to
Right.
step in.
Right, it's a tribal thing.
Yes.
And it's like he has some duties and everything, but it's not like, oh, you gotta feed him, you gotta change the diapers, you need to watch him so we can.
Yeah.
I don't like that, because it wasn't.
For sure.
It wasn't. It wasn't his decision to have a child come into this. So
Exactly. Even though he likes it a lot.
Right, exactly. But it's like you still gotta let the older kids be kids and have their own goals and things and time to do stuff too. But we don't have help, and I still thoroughly enjoy it. It's like I can't see it being any other way now.
No, I can't either.
I'm losing my voice, which is not good. But yeah, I mean, we don't have help, and I still enjoy it. That's what I was gonna say.
Yes, that's very, very true. You don't need help. That's the highlights. All these people, what they're trying to say is that, oh, we hire nannies, we get this, we get that, and you don't. You can do it yourself. Exactly. You can do it traditionally with the woman staying home, watching the kid, and with the guy going out and working. I mean, it's worked for centuries.
A lot of things that I hear is like the economy doesn't allow for it, that you have to have 2 sources of income. Well,
I hear that a lot too.
You could, if you're staying a stay-at-home mom, you could potentially find at-home gigs and stuff as a side to supplement the income, or do influencing or YouTube work or whatever.
Yeah.
You could do that. Also, you could make a bunch of sacrifices. I mean, like that's what it's been for us is making food in bulk,
Yes.
making our own clothes, making our own dog food. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it's like as they would say, kind of a crunchy life, but that it is what it is. I do my own skincare, my own hair care.
Yes.
I just did that today. I did a whole oil treatment on my hair and everything, and I brushed
Yeah.
it out. I'm going to do the second brushing in a little bit while we're doing this. You don't. It's amazing the things that you have that they say that you need that you don't need.
Exactly. Yes.
And we found that out, I think, in 2019 when we were just flat ass broke.
I know.
And that was a really hard year.
That
It
was.
was like involuntary vegan for a whole freaking year. And
I know.
it didn't look good.
No, it took a toll on us.
I did. I mean, I look at pictures like, wow, but it was still one of our happiest years.
It was.
Like, we had a lot of good times. I remember more good from that year than bad. And
Yeah, exactly.
we were like, always 3 days away from starvation, like literally.
Yeah,
That's a good goddamn year.
it was.
That's the year our puppies were born.
Yep.
That
was the start of a whole nother thing.
Yeah, it was like that was when shit came together. It was the
Yeah.
fruition of our monastery. Like it was solidified and sanctified.
Exactly true.
But we learned, it's like there was so much shit that we would buy that you don't gotta buy lotion.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
You can buy oils. You don't have to buy stuff for your hair. You can buy coconut oil and you can buy oats and
Yep.
rice goes a long way
It
in every
does.
capacity. Beans go a long way in every capacity. So
Yeah, we made a lot of different substitutes and stuff, and my food
yeah, it's like
treatment.
you don't have to buy clothes all the time.
No.
Like especially if you're just going to be working around here, just make them yourself and then have a few sets
Yes.
of clothes to go out into the Western world.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Boom, boom.
Taking control of your health is another thing.
Yes.
Realizing you don't need those medications.
That was one of the biggest things for us.
Yeah.
Was realizing that.
Yeah, taking control of health and everything, and it's so much cheaper.
It is. It by far is a lot cheaper.
So we've now taken all those pills and put them aside for one, maybe 2 herbs.
Yeah.
One I grow myself, and the other one costs us about maybe $300 a month. Maybe
Yeah.
a little more like 250.
Yeah. Maybe
a little less than that even. For the both of us.
Yeah, for the both of us.
You can't beat that.
No.
So yeah, if you want to be a stay-at-home mom and you don't think that you have the means to do it, that's the path.
It is, for sure. This is definitely the path. Follow it and see where it gets you. I mean, worst case, you can go back to the way that you were.
Yeah, exactly. What do you have to lose? You can make it as an independent woman. You can, so why not?
Yep.
What do you have to lose?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I think you got a
You get easily exhausted, and I just feel like that is terrible. And I personally feel like you being a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean that you cannot work. Most of the time, the kind of jobs that we get now are remote jobs. Most of the time, people are now making money off social media. People don't need to go to 9 to 5 anymore. You can actually make your money off just sitting at home. In fact, most people that do 9 to 5 are now opting for remote work. So you being a stay-at-home mom and you have help doesn't mean that you cannot make money. Doesn't mean you cannot work from home. You can also work from home. The fact that you're staying at home, yes, I know staying at home as a mom, you're doing everything. If you don't have a help, you're doing everything and it's very exhausting. I personally feel like if you don't have help and you're a stay-at-home mom, your husband should be paying you salary because there's no time most of the time, if you say you want to sit down to start making money, you are going to be very exhausted. You get easily tired because you're doing everything, especially people that have from 2 to 3, 4 children. It's very difficult to take care and manage those kind of children. So imagine you staying at home and caring for those children. When do you have time to make money? When do you have time to, do other things for yourself? So I feel like if you're doing all of that your man that is going out there should be able to provide for you 100. If he's not providing for you 100, I don't know, it's going to be very difficult. And I feel like that is why women are always very exhausted when they stay at home, because they are staying at home to take care of the children, clean, nanny, and all of that. But then they're not getting enough provision that they want from their partner. But anyway, I digress. I'm talking about you making money while you're still staying at home in your house and taking care of your children. It is possible, especially if you have nannies. Just like she said, that there are some moms that are out there living their lives. They have time to go to Pilates. They have time to go to the gym. Yes, you can have time to do all of that, especially one, when your children are grown. Two, if you have a family member around, or if you have a supportive partner. If you have a supportive partner that can, or a partner that works from home as well, can stay with you at home and also take care of the children while you do other things. If you can have all of that, it's better for you not to just sit down and expect one income household. It's better for you to also find something doing. And this is not because your husband cannot provide for you 100. This is just for you as a woman. You need to have your own money. And that is why most of the time I always pity women that are staying at home, and just be like, when you ask some women, what do you do for a living? They'll be like, currently I just put to bed and I'm not really working. I'm taking care of my baby. I pity them, because it's not that most of them cannot work. Yes, some of them are lazy, but it's not like most of them cannot work. But there's not how they can manage to take care of 3 children at once and still work. It's not easy, especially when you don't have anybody around you. It's not easy. So if you have time, or you have that space that you can.
Alright. Okay, sorry for my way. I was AFK. I'm back now. I was doing something. I'm doing
Okay.
good right now so far. That's good.
So, it's about faith, I think.
Yeah.
And like I said, if a woman wants to work for creative purposes and it brings her joy to do so,
Then that's a whole other story.
right? Because like I said, for thousands of years, tribes have done that. Women make the beads while they're watching the kids, and then they go and trade with other tribes, for different things with their women.
Yes.
That's happened for thousands of years.
That's exactly right.
It should come from a creative point. Like doing YouTube work and editing and stuff, I like doing that.
Oh yeah, it's
that's
fun.
one thing to do that I like.
And that's one thing about doing all this. I have fun doing the different things and seeing all different points of view.
But I'm just saying, from a woman's perspective.
Yeah.
Like a woman should do something that is from a creative
Yes,
standpoint.
for sure.
Because if it's not, then it tends to get kind of stale, and then you get resentful that you
Yeah.
have to do that. And it's like, so if it's coming from a place of creativity, then you'll actually find out that you're a lot more successful, because it's in alignment with feminine aspects.
Exactly. Yes.
And the rest of it is faith.
Yeah, faith.
There's a lot of what ifs that I hear from these women, that it's like, what if your husband divorces you? What if he dies? What if he becomes so sick? And it's like, I have complete and total faith that I can handle that situation when it comes, if it comes.
Yes.
It's like I just have that faith. I know that it'll be taken care of.
Yes, exactly.
And I guess that's where that whole spiritual payment comes in. They say that there's no payment for what they do. That's the spiritual payment. It's just knowing that something will take care of you. I don't know how.
It's exactly that. It's exactly faith. It's, you better know that there's something there that's got your back.
Yeah. So then it makes it really easy to live this life.
Yeah.
I kind of agree about having your own money. For me, it's more about having a skill set that you can fall back on. Not really having your own money, but having skills that can be utilized in the outside world if something should happen and you have to work or something, But it's a lack of faith. These people don't have faith. And
faith is missing in this day and age a lot.
Yeah, all around the board.
Yes.
But that's just my take on it.
No, your take is awesome.
Yeah, I hope so.
Back to it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
can, chip in some time to learn a skill or do something important with your time to make or earn a living, even if it's as low as $1 a day, but at least you're making something for yourself, for your future, because anything can happen at any given time. Because we see child wives are the ones that just stay at home, don't do anything. All they do is take care of the children and take care of the husband, right? They don't make any income. They are not even on social media, right? We see them always come and say, during divorce, or the reason why they cannot divorce their partner is because they don't have any money, they don't know where to start from, they don't have any money, and all of that. The thing is that if father your partner is the one providing, it checks how much it gives you. Most of these men are narcissists, so they know they don't want to give you enough money that you're going to use to run away or you're going to use to take care of yourself more than they want you to take care of yourself. If that makes sense. So you having your home money is your own backup plan. If anything happens, anything can happen, like death. Anything can happen that you require you needing your own money and spending your own money, if that makes sense. They call it vex money. So as a woman, you need to have that. So you taking that lifestyle of staying at home, because there are some ladies that are coming online to be like, I would prefer to be a stay-at-home mom than to be a working mom. Some people say that, right? So if you prefer to be a stay-at-home mom, don't just stay at home and watch the kids, and when you're busy time, all you do is watch movie or something. Even if you're watching movie, there are websites that whereby you can watch movie and you're making money off watching movie. Or you open a social media account. While you watch your movie, you review the movie that you're watching. With that, people will want to come to you for recommendation. You can make money off even taking care of your children. We see content of women that be like, oh, stay at home, a day in the life of a stay-at-home mom. These are content. These are ways women make money with what they have, how they are struggling with their life. So I personally feel like you staying at home and just looking and waiting for your man to provide for you 100 is just an excuse. Yes, I am not denying the fact that staying at home as a mom is a very difficult job. In fact, being a mom is a difficult work. And you now staying at home to take care of those children is worse. And the most annoying part is people don't acknowledge the fact that you're working. They see you like, oh, you're just very lazy. All you do is just stay at home. They don't know that you're taking care of a child alone is work. And the fact that you're actually doing it for free, they don't even see that. So I personally feel like staying at home as a mom is one very difficult job that women or that people are actually overlooking. And once you're in that kind of space, you will now understand why some women are opting out of, having children out of motherhood. Some women are like, you know what, I don't want to have a child. I just want to, live a child-free life. If you start seeing some things in motherhood, or you've been staying at home and doing literally everything for your child, for your children, for the family, for yourself as well, you will not understand why some women are like, you know what, this kind of lifestyle is not for me. What is your take on the whole lifestyle about staying at home? And why do you think people glamorize staying at home? Why do you think people feel like it is a luxury lifestyle for you to just stay at home and do nothing? Do you think staying at home, mom, they're living it or they're enjoying it? Because some people feel like you're enjoying yourself. Sometimes when you see a mom that is just at home and you just like, oh, you're having fun, you're enjoying yourself. The thing is that these women are not enjoying themselves. They wish they are out there. They wish they are doing something different from what they are doing. But this is just how they find their life, and there's nothing they can do about it. Let me know your thoughts about this video down in the comment section. Respectfully, it's your girl Maya David. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like and share and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video.
All right. Notice how it's still what women want, that selfishness and narcissism with extra steps. Psychopathy?
Oh, I didn't get that one. Yeah, they went to pop up here. Hold on. Oh, interesting. Cool. Yeah, exactly. It's
Good.
it's fine. Just continue. He sums it up pretty good.
Yeah. All these women demonstrate these traits without ever saying it. It's always about me with them. Some
Janice interests.
and feminists contradict themselves all the time. Some of them say they want both. Yeah,
And they want it both ways. Well, there's nothing for us. It's so true.
It
It's
is.
like you can't win, dude. It's
I know.
Like, it is a luxury in some ways and a duty to stay home with your offspring.
it is.
And
Yes.
and she's saying it's not. One of them was saying that's not natural. That it's a system that's been put up by the patriarchy. I'm like, okay, so mother cats don't stay with their babies.
Exactly.
Mother wolves don't stay with the babies. Every single member of the animal kingdom, the mother stays with the babies and raises the babies.
Yes.
And all makes when they're old enough, sometimes the pride or the pack will help.
Of course, like yeah, especially with the lions
and
and
wolves,
wolves.
yeah.
But a lot of times the male's out doing other stuff.
Right. Pissing on stuff, marking territories, and whatever men wolves do, but it's don't sit there and tell me it's not natural. I mean, it's like the most natural.
It is
you know?
exactly.
And so I fear that I think, and look at all the problems that are caused by women not being in the household. It's like
I know.
in the past 40, 50 years, there's been a serious decline in mental health and all these other problems with children and everything because the mother's not present in the house.
I know.
It just
Mental
is.
health down the drain.
Yeah, it just is.
Right now.
I mean, they talk about trans and how their suicide rates are up for trans youth. It's up for all youth.
Yeah, it is.
Suicide rates are up all the way across the board for every demographic of fucking person.
And it's getting worse. The trans side is getting worse with the surgery.
Yeah, well,
They don't want you knowing that, and they try to cancel that out. But
right. And they say that, oh no, this has helped my mental health. Okay, what, a year, 5 years? What about beyond 5 years? Nobody ever does any studies beyond 5 years to see if they're feeling any better.
exactly, that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
They sit there and they find out that the same demons that haunted them before the surgery are still there after.
Yes,
Who would have thought, right? I know. No, I really, it took a lot though. It took a lot to kind of gain this perspective because I was raised to be a career woman. I was raised to
exactly. You were.
to not want children, to be above it. And I mean, they said you
But-
better not be barefoot and pregnant. You better not depend on a man.
But they also were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, you're never gonna have to worry about a thing in your life.
Right. That's true. Yeah, I was supposed to inherit like $3 million.
Yeah, and
But then I decided to fall in love with him instead, and they're like,
Yep.
that's not gonna happen. And
We're supposed to.
they did.
here we are.
Got two wonderful kids.
Exactly. That's worth all the money. It never bothers me. It's like I feel like I escaped a bullet.
Exactly. Yes.
I can't say that there wasn't times, especially early on, that I thought, yeah, that money could have really helped us
Of course.
out. But I probably wouldn't have spent it the way that I would spend it now after having gone through these trials.
I know, and it stings more now, I think, because it's like we could really use it right now for certain things.
Yeah, we could really get the monastery going and stuff,
Yeah.
but
Whatever.
we just gotta keep chipping away
Exactly.
and building it ourselves.
We're doing it ourselves, and it means a lot more now than.
Who knows? Maybe we'll find a whole treasure, like Egyptian treasure place.
Exactly. Well, as far as I know, you're still supposed to inherit it, but
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
We'll see. We will see.
But yeah, I mean, so it took a lot for me because I have been on both sides of the coin. The career-driven, like
I know.
boss B type, and damn it, I don't even know how I functioned.
That was your mother.
I don't know how I functioned, and I didn't. I got to a point where I just didn't, and
Yeah.
that's when you picked up, and then I was like, oh shit, he is capable of doing something. And then it just got better and better, and I was like, okay.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, a month gone by, nothing bad happened. Then 6 months, and then a year, and then 2 years, and,
Yep.
and here we are 8 years in, and
Exactly.
it's still hard to fight those tendencies, but I do it, and I do it for that purpose.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
So I have the authority to speak on this because I've been on both sides of it.
Okay, he said, MGL, I notice how male mental health has been at its worst in times like these, like when our culture was gynocentric, because, bluntly speaking, women in related things is not caring about males.
There was a creator that I used to watch, and I still do from time to time. Her name is Paige, and she was a small time creator, and her channel is called She's a Page Turner. She was always going on and on about how she carries the mental load for the entire family, how her husband is a useless piece of crap and all this stuff. Her husband worked on lines, electrical lines. He puts his life literally on the line every single day when he goes to work. And she's like, I work full time too. She's a fucking influencer. Okay, that is not the same thing.
No, it's not.
And she's always taking a shit on this guy all the fucking time. I think,
well, wait until he screws up and gets hit by the line.
Exactly.
Or intentionally does. I mean, who knows at that point?
But recently, she actually got caught up by JP and Matt Walsh and everything. Matt Walsh caught wind of her, which is hilarious. I haven't gotten to see it yet, but I read about it. And I was like, holy shit, I couldn't believe it was her. I can't stand that shit. Sancho's absolutely right. It's like they do not care about the mental well-being or the physical well-being of the men in their lives.
I know.
It's like me, I'm always looking at your face like, oh my god, your skin is really dark. I'm like, what's going on here? We need to increase your iron, you know? It's like, because you're our lifeline.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not going out and working, where are we going to be?
Exactly.
So keeping your shit together is like my top priority.
Yeah.
Well, second top priority, you know?
Of course.
Otherwise, it's the other males in my life.
Yeah.
You know, like you and your brother, you know. But he's absolutely right. Women just literally at this point do not care what's going on with men. The highest suicide rate is because young men.
Yes, it is.
You know, I wonder why.
He said, "I'm so glad that I'm helping you guys with insight and other information."
Yes, it's really.
Yeah,
really
you
good.
always do,
I
Sancho.
love that. I love being able to talk about that. That's really cool. Helpful.
All right, so you got another video, right?
I want you to go through the
comments. That's right.
Because we got to talk about some of these.
Let's see. How do I get to them?
You shrink down the page and then just go down to the comments. Stevie, you're annoying.
I can't stop her. She's not listening to me. Okay. Let's see. Every time I hear about SAHW conversation, that dude who said to his wife, "You have been writing on my income for the past 10 years," plays in my head.
It's another video, I think.
Honey.
Right? Yeah, let me see if I can.
Yeah. I gotta go to the bathroom really fast.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Go over some.
There was one that was just really, really cruel.
Oh yeah, I know. As a past person, it's really fucked up.
It really is.
We got the gurus now, in here now.
Your mom read it to me earlier, and my jaw dropped. I cannot believe
Somebody would say that.
the urge of people.
All right, so here's one. It says, men weren't the only hunters. The whole tribe weren't the only hunters. The whole tribe hunted, but the women were useful because they also birthed and nursed the babies. Men have known for a long time women are more valuable and can do more than them. They've been new. Okay,
What
number
the
one.
hell?
That's really crappy language.
It is.
That's very poor. I don't know.
And
That's ghetto. Don't do that.
The main thing is they've always had their place.
They went. I mean, there's been some tribes that maybe snared some rabbits. You know, the women snared rabbits, or they used bows. You know.
Yeah.
I saw a really cool Hindu mural where there was the woman was trying to a reflective piece of glass or something to stun a deer, and then the guy would shoot it. You know, so they have kind of worked in tandem to go hunting and everything.
Well, they always have. I mean, you and I have talked about it before, and you've told me that the main thing is the women in native cultures would go and skin the animals and
Right.
cook.
Yeah, I was going to say that in native cultures, you're not going to find women running along taking down buffalo or doing anything like that.
No.
But the men would go and they would kill it and leave it where it lie, because by then it is not to be touched by them because they have defiled it. You know, they would defile it if they touched it. The women would come and take it away. I mean, provided that it was close enough to the camp, and skin it and cure it and cook it and do all of that stuff.
If it was a woman these days, they would not work with us, man. It's so,
I know they would.
so fucking mental.
I know they wouldn't work with you. It's like they have to work above you.
And then another thing is that they need a yard to actually go outside and touch grass.
Exactly.
Because like the oxygen from the air is gonna get stale and stuff, and it's just not good.
Okay, here's the one.
So let's hear it.
All right.
Ready for a critical hit?
Yep.
Brace.
It says it is not beneficial for the mom, but it is for the children. They have a parent who is always there for them, whether they are homeschooled or go to public school. Here's the response. Oh shit, where is it? Oh no, I don't know if it got taken down. I have it. I'll find it. This is, why does the mom have to sacrifice for the children? Sacrificing was never meant to be an everyday thing, only on occasions. Who says? That's not what the gods
Kicking
dictate.
the head down the hill.
Only on occasion.
But men deliberately set it up so that it is daily and endless, and because it biologically wasn't set up that way, women lose interest in children rather quickly. What are you talking about? In nature, the freaking females take care of the babies.
They do.
Hold on, I think it got taken down.
See if you can find it, because that'll be a good one.
Oh, I'll find it. When you come back, I know exactly where to find it. This one says, hot take, being a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife is bad for the family. It truly, truly is. A lot of idiots will sell women the crapola that kids need them at home when they're younger, but the truth is that it's ass hard to get back into the job force after taking years off. That's not true. You keep building. You build more skills being a stay-at-home mom and wife than anything else, because
Yeah.
you learn how to multitask, manage, schedule. You learn all of that shit.
Yes, you do.
American women dum-dums will then argue, well, we need something like Europe. The problem doesn't change in Europe, and in fact, the wage gap is even more noticeable in France, Germany, and Eastern Europe. Scandinavia might be an exception. I'm not going to read the rest of that.
That's a long one.
This one, I resented having to work. I didn't want to work. I had to. I missed out on so much with my son. I will always wish I could have stayed at home.
Yeah, see, that is just it. Women are the ones that are supposed to be there for the kids.
Don't let it hit the that's our microphone.
Oh, great. Come on, CB. Away. But the women are supposed to be there for the kids at all times, to soothe them, to help them.
Exactly.
That is one of the main roles.
They say that they don't think so. They think that it's not biologically set up that way. I'm like, where are you getting that
I know.
from?
See, stop.
Let's see.
Cats.
Please give me the source of the information that you have acquired.
Hold on, I'll get it.
No, I'm talking about like the comment.
Oh yes. I want to be a stay-at-home wife. Exactly. Marry rich with no kids and spend my husband's money to make my own money without him knowing.
See, and then you get those ones
Right
that are
there.
all egotistical.
Exactly.
It is ridiculous.
No kids involved. Okay, these women sound like they resent their children. Oh, maybe this is the one. These women sound like they resent their children. The children are innocent, did not ask to be brought into this world. I beg to differ, but that's a different thing.
Yes.
They are a blessing nonetheless. The problem is either them or their husband. Yes. This person is called Bible Thumper, by the way. It says, no children aren't, comma, I guess. Children aren't a blessing to women. To men, yes, but not to mothers. A blessing is something beneficial or that brings well-being. That is not what a child is to a mother. What
I bet.
is that?
I don't know.
I really bet she ain't a mother. She said too of a bitch to be one. If she is, she don't deserve it.
Yeah, and Sancho, we need you to join us one time on here, with voice.
And just
To
give in
join the
your-
whole
yes, exactly.
on something like this one.
We We need a Discord server.
You know, because you have
If you guys
he has
want-
StreamYard, doesn't he? We talked about it before. I thought.
I don't know.
See, if
Do you
guys
have
want-
StreamYard? Because we could
Awesome.
set you up to be on.
What's up, dude?
Also, Sancho could join my Discord server. You guys could use it.
Maybe you could set us up a Discord server.
Yeah.
Tell us how to use it.
Okay.
We're boomers.
He
you know.
said something.
You're good enough.
I hear there's that. I'm done. This disgusts me.
Yep. You said something too.
I can't.
I am also very disgusted.
I know. Does that piss you off?
All right.
Like, who says?
Is there any more that you
hell
wanted me to go through, or shall we go on to the next?
Go ahead and go on to the next one.
Okay. All right.
As a child, I'm very offended. As a bad person, I'm very offended.
I'm gonna take this, but I'm very offended.
This is what Sancho said. Those comments, I swear, those are the ones that make me lose faith in humanity the most, and that says a lot. Talk about cope and echo chambers, right?
Yes, I know.
Make sure you're muted before we move on here. Yeah, that one just freaking pissed me off.
I know.
Ross,
I'm getting this
someone
one now.
says.
You guys. Bye.
Not to sound like really stupid, but is the Boston Marathon longer than the LA Marathon?
No, all marathons are the same length. So I commented on this video and I was like agreeing with her. I was like, yeah, exactly. I love being a stay-at-home wife. Can't wait to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't want to get a job because I don't want a fucking job. If I wanted a job, I would get a job. I do not need a job. And someone was like, all the other people said that too. All the stay-at-home moms said that too. And look where that got them. And I'm like, okay, their husbands are trash. Mine is not. Well, they thought their husbands weren't trash too. Okay, just because, first of all, I know you don't have a husband. I know you don't. That's easy to see, easy to identify. And just because your husband sucks doesn't mean my husband sucks. Yours does. Mine does.
There's a lot to unpack in this video. Let me just start here. There are times when we as a society agree collectively that something is so inherently dangerous that we need to prevent it, whether that's through regulation and legislation or just social pressure. For instance, not wearing a seatbelt, people under the age of 21 drinking alcohol, taking your dog for a walk on a
He said, so if you guys want to, I'm unmuted. If you guys want to send me some social medias, make sure it's on Gmail so that Shot won't get hacked and smacked.
Gotcha. We'll do that. We're going to get a Discord server set up. I mean,
Yeah.
people will have to help us because we're like boomers, not. All right. So I think the lady that was doing the react that was doing the before this,
Yeah.
she's on our side. She believes.
Yeah, it seemed like it, but
Because
she
she
was
was talking
doing
about-
it all wrong.
Yeah, she's just like so aggressive about it that it's like.
Yeah.
You know, she got the arm tattoo. She's
I
got
know.
this masculine way of talking and everything, but I'm pretty sure that her sentiment was, yeah, well, my husband isn't trash, and I have faith in him, and so it's not going to happen to me.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Whatever. But let me talk about what I'm looking at right now. She literally looks like the girls I used to do cheerleading with. But,
Yeah.
But older. She has the same hair, the same makeup, the same. I mean, that looks like a cheerleading outfit to me.
It really does.
And
Or a tracksuit at the very least.
I don't know. See, it's got the little thing right here. See.
Yeah.
And it's like, if that isn't a cheerleading outfit, I don't know. But she just looks like the 40-year-old that's like peaked in high school and doesn't want to give it up.
I know.
You know, that's.
She does.
And so that automatically makes me not want to listen to her.
I know. Yeah, I agree.
I can see a smug face in them.
Here, let me show you.
I know what you're gonna say.
No, here, look.
Okay, I really see it now.
I don't
Okay,
know. But
What-
maybe she'll surprise me.
What's this word?
That's the face I
This
wanted
is
to
down
see.
here.
Oh, it's a new thing.
Okay.
It's in the description.
So I didn't touch something then.
Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Use-
We'll
Gmail.
get a. He's got a Discord and stuff, so we'll get it all connected.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's see what maybe.
sidewalk without a little strap attached to his neck. Why do we collectively care so much right now about the dialogue and protective measures around women like this, depending on their intimate partners for everything, for their food, for their home, for their income for the rest of their lives, for retirement, healthcare? Because we're finally starting to recognize more and more the inherent danger of this lifestyle. I was the ultimate stay-at-home mom because I was a Mormon trad wife. So I had all the things. I had the religion and the belief that what I was doing was God's plan for my life and for my children. I had 4 kids, and that wasn't enough, so we adopted an extra one. And I had all the benefits of that Mormon trad wife glam. Like, we had the $1 million houses and the Mercedes and the boats and the RVs. And I spent the entire summer in a $3 million house in Maui overlooking the Pacific Ocean, taking a bath on this clawfoot tub out on the patio, watching the sunset over Molokai. Ski trips to Telluride, where the mountainside concierge would wax up my skis for me, clip my little feet into them, and give me a push towards the run. I mean, literally, that was my life. That was my life for 24 years. And if you've been on any of my TikToks, you know that that came at a price. That price was that my husband was abusive in so many different ways. I don't think that he missed a single abuse checkbox.
We go muted once we
I think
go
because
to the video.
it looked like we were still talking. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes we talk afterwards to each other, so.
So this is the problem that I have, and I think this is where a lot of people get conflicted. They paint this picture. You just being submissive, like by Western standards.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you get walked all over. That doesn't mean that you act naive and stupid. It means you take some faith, but it doesn't mean like you're not aware of what's going on. There is such a thing called women's intuition, and if you feel that something's off, pray about it, and believe me, the spirits will find a way to bring it to light. I hate it. It gives me such anxiety, but luckily nothing has come of it for years and years. So, you know, it's like we're on a good path now. But you can't be walked all over.
No.
You can't be abused. You are still supposed to be treasured. You're supposed to be, you know.
Yeah, if a guy's doing that, if a guy's still abusing the woman, then that's wrong.
Yeah, right. And that means either financial abuse, that means mental, physical, emotional, whatever.
Yeah.
He's supposed to provide, and that means he provides everything. Not just money, not just a place to be, but, you know, a safe place for her to be her feminine self. You know, so if he's not doing that, then he's not providing. You don't need to submit.
Yeah.
At that point, then you wisen up and you use your skills to get the hell out of the situation.
Exactly.
The other thing is they're using all this money, using the money, going here, going there, clawfoot bathtubs on the lawn, or whatever the hell she was saying. So
Yeah.
You know, going on houseboats and going on vacations, and it's like you have to sacrifice.
You do.
You need to be grounded.
Yes.
You know, you can't just go out there and have like this extravagant lifestyle and think that there isn't going to be a bigger price to pay.
I know. That's just it. That's what people always think.
A lot of guys that I know, they don't want to disappoint their women by saying, I ran out of money. And so they keep trying to keep that lifestyle up for them.
They do.
And then they're digging themselves deeper in debt. And one day they've got nothing.
Yeah, I know. And then they wonder why.
Yeah. So
they're like, well, why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Well, because you didn't have the money to begin with.
So instead of living frugally and stuff and being aware of that and just minimizing the cost of the household, you know, and not being so extravagant with your trips and with your clothes and with your stuff, then you'll be bringing around a good, fruitful relationship, you know.
Our biggest trips have been like pretty much our movie night, or when we go to see a movie, which is still very, very rare.
Yeah, that's very rare. But we have gone to Las Vegas.
Yeah, we've gone to Las Vegas.
For like a night.
Yeah.
You know.
And we've also gone to Great Wolf Lodge.
Yeah.
But that was also a whole different
Yeah, and somebody
thing.
else paid for that.
That's what I mean. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
But yeah, just like you know damn well if you're doing that much stuff, that it is going to be a bigger price to pay, because
Yes.
there's in nature and with karma, there's always a give and a take.
There
And
is.
that was the price. Like she's about to say, the price for that was being abused. Nothing is worth that.
No.
You know. So
No, nothing is worth that.
yeah, women do need to submit, but that does not mean being a doormat. That does not mean being stupid. That does not mean allowing yourself to be abused. If
Yes.
he's not providing in every single aspect that the gods dictate that needs to be provided,
Yes.
then you have no will or need to
For the
submit.
streets.
You know, you're free of it. It's like
Yeah.
you work on it, or you can like spiritually divorce. You know,
Like I said, for the streets,
the guy or the girl.
whichever one's being abusive, because the girl can be too.
Right, yeah, well, they most generally are. And
Yeah.
it's like they want material things.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. You know, it's like they think that, especially the Mormon culture,
Yes.
like they have the big houses and the cars and the big acres of land and everything. And it's just like, I don't know.
I mean, you've always wondered what was with the Mormon community because you had family.
Yes.
That
I had
was
a-
that
I had a
way,
whole
and
side of the family that was Mormon, yes.
You know, and there was issues that you were wondering. It's like, well, wait.
Homosexuality is rampant within their community.
Yes.
And I don't know why, because even my own cousin ended up being gay.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure my other cousin, he's emo, so he looks pretty gay too. I don't know what's up with that.
I don't either.
But yeah, there were some weird things, you know, and it was always wishy-washy. It was like, oh, we're not supposed to drink, but like my uncle had stuff hidden behind books
Yep.
and everything, and my uncle's friends had stuff hidden, and they would go and sneak drinks or go on quote-unquote hunting trips where they get blasted off their ass the whole time, you know. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's not truthful. That's
No.
not right. you
No, that's
know?
lying. That's flat out lying.
Yeah, and I mean, like, yeah, you can lie to yourself, you can lie to other people, but you can't lie to the gods.
You can't.
And
The
shit
gods
comes
will.
around.
Yeah, gods will get it out there.
Exactly.
He said, "I'll give it to these people. They are talented for virtue signaling. I don't know how to do that. No, fiend. Where did they get that from?"
I don't know. I think inner city society life. You
Yeah,
know,
it is.
watching a lot of stupid ass Instagram reels and shit. Because
Yeah.
I see that a lot too. And it's like I don't know. I only know how to be honest. And it's like
I know.
I'll rally for the small person when they need to be rallied for. Otherwise, it's not my business. you know?
Yes. I mean, I saw the other end, and that's what I grew up with. Was the other end, the lying, the just tell the lies, tell the.
Yeah, because you don't want to make. Can you be still? You're just scaring me. You don't want people to be uncomfortable. That's one thing. You don't want people to feel uncomfortable, and you don't want to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So it's like this lie leads to another lie, and then everybody ends up having. If there's no trust, you know.
Exactly.
And you still don't trust your mother. You know.
No.
It's like I don't know. I don't know where that comes from though, because it's like to carry the burden of a lie, even something simple, like
Yes,
it stresses you out.
it does.
You know,
It really does stress you out.
and that's I can't live like that. Personally, I just can't. You know, and I still see the ramifications.
Like I've said though, you were taught better and you were raised it.
Well, my mother lied,
I know,
lied.
but you were,
and I was.
but you knew it still.
Yeah, I was a damn good liar, but it always felt icky to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that burden. It was just like,
Well,
oh God, I can't tell my grandmother this, you know, and I wanted to tell her those things because
Yeah.
I wanted to share in my life, you know. But
Exactly.
No, don't tell her. But it's like, well, shit, I'm proud of this thing that you don't want me to tell her. And now, you know.
Yep, and your mother's like, well, then they don't need to know.
And then she started trying to pull that shit on him.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, there's no reason for that. We're handling our stuff. We're getting stuff done.
Exactly.
We're paying our own bills. You know, why can't he sit there and talk about the dog that he's so proud of?
I know.
You know, why can't he say that he has his own dog and stuff? You know, that was usually what it was about, was animals.
Yes.
And or if we went on a trip or something, don't tell him that. You know, don't
Yeah.
say anything about that. And it's like, shit. What else am I going to tell? I don't talk to anybody.
Well, that's part of it.
So yeah, I was raised to be a really, really good liar.
Yes.
but I just didn't like it, and I can't do it at all now. Like I just
I
can't.
know.
It just doesn't work for me. It doesn't.
I know.
Like even if I try to, everything comes out all jumbled out of my mouth, and like
You get caught.
you know, like I can't even lie to authority.
I know.
So.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Or let's see. If we're talking about submissiveness, I see like a phenomenon where men submit to their female counterparts, like wives, sisters, mothers. I can't remember. I remember I did stuff like that, unless I'm mistaken. For you're right.
The phenomenon of men submitting to women is like a dark joke too in some hidden brave media, like sitcoms, rock star games. I even see manosphereites like red pillars say things that are
So James, that's
catering.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because even in we talk about that when women being oppressed and everything, but we have some creators where there's Chinese creators, Mexican creators, and Arab creators, and they all have a very similar theme of them being terrified of their mothers. Like
Yes,
their mothers coming at them with sandals all the time.
I love that.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's like, but these are supposed to be the cultures that are so like oppressive toward women, right?
I know.
You know, so it's interesting. But they're just terrified of their mothers.
Yes, they are.
It's like-
But see, they were taught right.
yeah, I mean,
They're terrified of their mothers because they were taught to respect the elders,
right,
or the elders will whoop their butt
right.
the way it's
Well,
supposed
see,
to
I
be.
know.
It's just interesting because, like I said, like I don't know, the Americans will make you think that these are the cultures that are the worst toward women, and I just don't see that. You know, it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I don't know. Like I can't use a sandal on somebody, but I'll sure as shit chase somebody around with a wooden spoon.
Or a bamboo stick.
Or a bamboo stick.
Yeah, see, and he said in real life, men joke around being afraid of their wives.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there. You
Yes.
know, like, for sure. Do you need, like...
But I was raised in a shit show of a family, and I upgraded when I married Jake. He was a lot nicer to me than my dad was. So when I got married at age 20, I had a little bit less abuse and a little bit less screaming and a little bit less craziness and money, and all this stuff. Upgrade. Then one day in 2018, just a couple days after we had celebrated our anniversary, Jake told me he was going to go up to Barrow's Pizza and do some work so that he could get away from the house and get ready for his work week. And what he was actually doing was driving to a QT gas station where he had arranged to pick up a 19-year-old escort. I always say she was 19 because that's what he had put into the Google search bar. 19-year-old escort Phoenix. So all of a sudden, just like that, all the stuff went away. The house and the cars and the trips to Maui. Within 2 days, I couldn't buy a bag of groceries at Trader Joe's. I had to have a family member Apple Pay me at the register $43 so that I could buy milk and bread.
All right. See, there's a reason here. If she were to make sure that her husband was more satisfied, and make sure that they were good in bed with each other,
Mm-hmm.
then this wouldn't have happened.
Or like you said, if she would have like picked somebody before. I mean, how do you get that far that fast? You know, that's what I'm thinking. Because she was in one relationship.
Yeah.
And then she divorced that one, got into another relationship, and this happened that fast. You know, so
Well,
there was probably red flags that she just willfully ignored.
Yeah, I think so.
Because
I was gonna say, I'm sure there was time that there was stuff that was seen that she just didn't.
I mean, being good in bed doesn't necessarily negate the fact that he's gonna go out. I mean, some guys are just dogs.
Yeah, they are.
You know, but the lack of communication and
Yeah,
the
but I
lack
mean-
of awareness.
But I mean, being with each other and knowing what each other wants and who the people are the number one things.
Right, being compatible in that department.
Knowing.
You know.
Because if you can see what they're going to do, then you know.
And yeah, usually that kind of behavior is covered up by nice trips to Hawaii and
Yeah.
everything, you know. So it's like there's always a price.
Exactly. I mean, what was he doing on those trips? Was he with her on those trips?
Right, exactly.
But like not?
Exactly.
I mean, that's what you got to look at.
for sure.
Read for my kids this morning. Sorry, I said I was going to cry anymore in my videos. I keep reshooting this. I cannot cry. This morning, I woke up an hour early, laid here in bed, filled out an application for a tiny little apartment that I barely had the money to put the deposit on because my uncle, whose guest house I have been renting, gave us about 5 weeks to get out. This will be the 4th time since my marriage ended that my kids have lost a home. The 4th time that my kids have been sort
Okay, so again, she gives us more information. What kind of person is she if she's getting kicked out of her, what is it, uncle's?
I didn't really hear. I just thought that she was getting kicked out.
It was family. It was like uncle or brother. It was something like that. And she's getting kicked out of their guest house.
Yeah, that kind of gives me more of an insight to the fact that maybe this other shit didn't even happen.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but a lot of women do that.
It was a family's guest house, and she's getting kicked out of it and stuff. And she was like, I don't know, why. And it's like, you do. You know exactly why.
Right. And, so what if you have to struggle and suffer? Obviously, she lived a good life.
Yes.
For like 25 years.
I know, exactly.
I mean, now maybe you have to suffer a little bit. And you know what? Those small little apartments in those struggling times bring you closer to God. They bring you more peace. And they'll
they do.
They'll
Yes.
maybe bring you to a man that's actually, I don't know, compatible.
Yep.
I don't want to say worthy, but compatible.
I got you, yeah.
So,
Exactly that.
sorting through closets to decide what goes to Goodwill, what goes to storage, what we can squeeze into this tiny little apartment. While 60% of men do better after divorce, women across the board do not do better after divorce. Period. End of story. All data shows that women are worse off after divorce. Less than 80% of stay-at-home moms have any retirement in their name, which is why elderly, unmarried women who have been divorced or widowed are the highest poverty demographic in our country. I personally feel that it's time to illegalize alimony, take it off the table, eliminate it. If there was no alimony, there would never be another little 20-something with her cute little dimples talking about how she married a good apple and her husband is better than all the husbands, and this shit is never going to happen to her. And when she's 70 and she can't afford her insulin and her diabetic medication or whatever the thing is, and she's living with her kids or living in the streets, take alimony away, and I guarantee the women going to work would be exponentially higher. Better tax credits for childcare, paternity leave for men, and across the board, state mandated payment for stay-at-home moms. Minimum wage at the minimum put into an account that is non-divisible in case of divorce. It is only hers. It is never his. A man is not a plan. He can be your husband. He can be your boyfriend, your lover, your roommate, whatever you want him to be, but he is not your financial future.
Alright, I mean, that woman pretty much summed it up. I mean, you know what type of person she is just by what she said.
I mean, she wants the government to pay for stay-at-home moms and everything.
Yeah.
Like, that's a family affair. When has the government ever been responsible for that?
They're not responsible for family affairs.
Like I said, if you want to have your own money or something, that's fine. I hate that saying a man is not a plan, because I feel that if you put all of your shit in, you get twice as much of a return.
Yes.
But you have to also have awareness, and you have to have skills.
Yeah, you
You
do.
have to have skills that can be utilized in the outside world if something should happen.
Yeah, you do.
Because there is always the possibility of death or dismemberment or fucking, sickness or whatever. Even if divorce isn't ever on my mind, those other things.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like,
I mean, death can come knocking any day.
yeah.
It doesn't have a date.
Right. So that's why I do my best to make sure that you're healthy and to make sure that you're good. But
Yeah.
you could get hit by a car, that's whatever. So you have to have a lot of faith that you'll be taken care of.
Oh yeah,
by
you
something
do.
bigger than
You
yourself.
do.
Obviously, she was, because there she is in front of a nice house now. There she is wearing this weird cheerleader's outfit.
I know.
There she is with her shiny teeth and her perfect hair and her perfect makeup.
I know.
So obviously it still worked out for her somehow, even though she was put in that position.
There you go. Yes.
So it's like, how can she sit there and tell other women not to do the same thing? She was obviously taken care of. She might have struggled for a little while, but she looks just fine now. I'm going to do some research on who the hell she is.
Yes, please do.
Because,
And we can, do an update on her.
Yeah, because, obviously, so she struggled. She didn't have anything.
Yeah.
And she still came out of it. She was taken care of divinely.
Exactly.
There you go. She's kind of like disproving her own case.
Mic drop.
Don't. It's already on the floor. But yeah, interesting stuff, huh?
Oh, very much so. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Roll through the special thanks here. Alrighty. Thank you, Sancho, for joining us. Always fun to have you here and talking away. Like I said, I want to get something going with like the Discord or whatever. We'll look into that, and that way we can get you talking too back and forth. I think that would be an awesome show.
It really would, yes.
Make for a little more engagement and everything else, so that Nepper doesn't have to do all the talking.
Just real quick, that lady that we were just talking about. Right?
Yeah.
She's got 18,000 subscribers.
Wow. Shocking.
And she's made her entire YouTube about her experience that she just talked about. She says, "A man is not a freaking plan. My story of building a new life after the old one burned to the ground. Ex-Mormon and ex-MAGA." So, she's sitting here telling you that it has burned to the ground and she has rebuilt it up to make a really good platform and obviously some really good money. How is that? She's kind of disproving her point.
I know, she is, for sure.
So yeah, I'll check it out and see if we can do a review on this channel because that's
Yes.
interesting. It's called Life Take Two.
All right. Well, I'll check it out with you later.
Yeah.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Sancho.
Thank you. Namaste. Have a great, couple of days. We'll see you again Friday. We'll be back this week on our normal schedule.
Oh, I can't kiss you.
Mwah. Send it through the computer.